Let's keep moving, young man. We're going to take a stroll down some Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to get to some history for this week of October 9th?
9th. I actually go through the 17th.
17th?
I jumped to Wednesday only because the reason why, I guess, is a little behind the scenes for you guys, but like just so it gives, like, if it takes us a day to upload, then like it's still current. Whereas if I go Tuesday to Tuesday and we don't upload till Wednesday, like it's old information. Some of it's old information already. That's what
I mean, it's already technically old in a way.
That's why. So like I'm gonna try to go Wednesday to Wednesday now.
Okay.
Even though we're recording on Tuesdays.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. So you ready? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
This week in history, October 9th.
October 9th.
1781 is where we start out.
1781.
The American Army, the Continental Army, begins shelling the British, who are surrounded at Yorktown. October 9th, 1781.
Our American History Tellers had the cool thing, but it's not really related too much. But just like a black soldier was there or something like that. That was really what it was. This wasn't too like historic in a way. But I mean, like it was, but still not. Like it was a cool story on how that'll happen. But yeah. Anyways, I'm stupid.
Okay.
I'm adding 2 cents that don't belong in that.
October 9th, 1888, the Washington Monument, which was designed by Robert Mills, opens to the public.
1888?
1888.
Dang, that thing is old.
Yeah, it actually like should be older because it was. I don't remember the exact date or whatever when it actually started, but I think it started in the 1850s.
Damn.
And they stopped building it during the Civil War. They stopped construction. So like if you go there and you look at it, it's actually like 2 different colors. The like bottom third of it is a different color than the rest of it.
That makes sense.
Because the bottom third of it is older by like 30 years. So yeah. So they stopped, and then like they didn't have the money to like continue for like a while. So like they didn't start building it again until like the late 70s, I think, 1870s.
Yeah, that I remember going up the elevator in Fallout 3. It was the best.
Where else? October 9th, 1949, Harvard Law School admits its first woman into the student body. And 1 year later, October 9th, 1950, the UN forces in Korea cross over the 30th parallel into North Korea, like pushing back the North Koreans.
I believe I have dyslexia, and I always thought it was the 48th parallel, but it's the 38th.
I mean, at least it's not the 83rd parallel. Because, like, you normally switch, like, letters and numbers around, whatever.
No, I just put a 4 there for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay,
I think
fine.
maybe because of Heartbreak Ridge or something like that, and, like, I get, like, a 4 in there for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
The only reason why I know about that war is because of Heartbreak Ridge. Thank you, Clint Eastwood.
October 10th.
Not even going to acknowledge that.
No, moving on. 1731. Oh, man, I meant to look up how this happened, and I totally forgot. Henry Cavendish was a physicist, and he is the one who discovered the mass and the density of the Earth.
What?
And this was in 1731, and I totally meant to look up like how he actually calculated that, because it's just like I'm like just sitting here right now. I was like, wonder what the Earth weighs. Let me go calculate that.
You know how you probably did it, and this is my alternate history of doing it.
Okay.
He probably farted, and then like was like put it in a glass jar and just
What?
measured it, and that's how he came up with it. Yep, that's how he did it.
Sure. Okay.
That's how he did it.
There you go. Great job, Henry Cavendish.
I was
Cavendish.
Cavendish. Good job farting over there.
October 10th, 1845, the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis is founded.
1885?
1845.
45. I thought it was old. Oh, no, it's the Navy.
West Point is the one that's like
Yeah, it's
super
old.
old.
Yeah.
October 11th, 1862, the Confederate Congress in Richmond actually like makes it so that anyone who owns 20 or more slaves is exempt from military service. They pass a law that like basically anyone who owns a plantation or whatever is not required to serve in the Confederate Army. So it kind of set up this like rift in the South where it was like a rich man's war but a poor man's fight.
Yeah. Because they had to have a draft for them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have enough men.
October 11th, 1884, Did I actually say the wrong date there? It was 1862 was the Confederate Congress thing.
Yeah.
If I messed that up, I don't know. October 11th, 1884 is the birthday of Eleanor Roosevelt.
She's old.
Yep.
Yeah, I think FDR is actually younger than her. A little bit.
It's probably close, but maybe a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
October 11th, 17... Sorry. Man, your dyslexia is contagious apparently today. I can't read.
Sorry.
October 11th, 1975 was the very first night for Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
Live from New York.
It's live
Saturday night.
from New York. It's Saturday night.
October 12th.
Blues Brothers, sorry.
1492. What happened in 1492?
Columbus sailed the blue or the big.
The ocean blue.
The
But close
ocean
enough.
blue.
That was good. Good job. Columbus landed in the Bahamas. He found the new world.
I love because I have a bunch of I'm Native American and my mom is like she had this post. I don't know if you saw it yesterday.
I saw
on
it.
Facebook.
I know what
I
you're
was just
talking
like I was just gonna slap her
Yikes.
with just like facts and stuff. Someone put another post that I saw that was like pretty hilarious on like how important Christopher Columbus actually was. Even though he was pretty important, it just like the things he did sucked. So
There was,
like,
I mean, yes, it was important. I think he is definitely responsible for some pretty terrible things.
yeah,
But at the same time, like the same people who a lot of times quote those sort of things also quote the like disease and such that killed a lot of people as like a total number that Columbus is responsible for. And
Yeah.
like there's no way that they could have known anything about how the science of like those diseases worked. Where
or
like,
even
they would
that
have known that like
were
they were gonna
contagious
kill a
with it.
bunch of people just by showing up.
I mean, if they would have known about it, they'd be like, "Here, lick my hand real quick." But
Maybe,
let's be honest. But like even like the smallpox kind of like blanket thing is like stupid. That's like the dumbest thing ever. But my thing was like because like I'm Cherokee and like I live here, so am I occupying California then? You know, like people are like, "Oh, this is not my land. This is not your land," or whatever. Like, you know how like people got moved and whatnot.
Mhm.
I'm like, well then, like, like, should I leave this, like California? You know what I mean? Because I'm technically also Mexican too, so I'm coming from Mexico. But obviously, California used to be part of Mexico. But I'm just saying, like, should I leave now to go back to Mexico because the native tribes that were here should have their land back? Like, so I have to leave too.
Get out.
I have to go back to Georgia.
Georgia.
But I don't know. That just like that all that argument of like it's in the past. I mean, like there's nothing we can do about it. You can't change anything. What are you gonna do? Like give line? I don't understand getting a line back. This is going on in South Africa. It's like they're killing people out there and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't make any sense. It's just like it's not a good argument anymore. In my eyes. I mean, I get what like they've done. And it's terrible. Like I'm Cherokee. Like, I understand. I'm not like I don't have like a direct like knowledge of like the culture, like a real in depth like my family does back on the reservation. But I mean, I feel like there's nothing we can do. What are you gonna do? I'm not gonna tell you go back. I enjoy my company with you. It's like go back to England, Jacob.
Bye.
It's like no, that's stupid. It's like, and then it's another thing too. Is like when I don't know. For me, it's like being American is like when everyone asks me like, what ethnicity are you? Like I'm American. That's it. That's all I gotta do. Once you start just saying, oh, you're American, I'm like, I'm not Mexican American. I'm American. So, is that hard? You're American. Jones isn't black and half Hispanic American. Like he's just American. Like why? I don't know why we can't just get to that point yet. I don't know. That's frustrating.
We could have a much more in-depth discussion about that.
Yeah.
Some of the time down the line, possibly.
I know. Sorry, that's a radio rant.
It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna make a huge time jump here by about 450 years.
We're going to add to the animus.
Yep, we are. Yeah. October 12th, 1944, the Axis occupation of Athens. Speaking of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Athens is ended. They pack up and leave. There were 40 roughly. It is estimated anyway that 40,000 people starved to death during the Axis occupation.
Damn, the Greeks get just messed up through these centuries, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then there are some, so like I guess this isn't really related, but we might as well go down this rabbit hole. When Greek had their, they still have, when Greece has their like financial crisis that is kind of still going on, and they were like completely bankrupt or whatever, they tried to sue Germany for war reparations from like World War II. Yeah, they were like, give us this money because you like these people died or whatever.
I heard I had that interview podcast and we were talking about aliens and stuff, and on Roswell apparently there was like Greek writing on that, and it goes back to like some German. Somehow they linked it to some German guy that designed like these aircraft, and like he was one of the guys that went to Greece or something like that for some reason to get some kind of like, I don't know what it was. It wasn't a piece of technology. It was like a theory or something like that, and like to learn about it, and then took it back and then try to replicate it or something like that. And like that's why he had like the homage to like whoever originally did it was like that's why the Greek writing or something like that. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's connections.
October 13th in the year 54. Just straight 54. 54 AD. Nero is crowned the new emperor of Rome after his uncle was assassinated by his uncle's wife.
A lot of uncle killing.
Yep. October 13th, 1775, Continental Congress establishes the United States Navy. Actually, back then it was called the Continental Navy, but same like entity.
Mm-hmm.
And October 13th, 1792, George Washington lays the cornerstone for the White House in Washington, D.C. I think the last time we recorded one of these, we had like early October. It was like the anniversary of Washington laying the cornerstone of the Capitol building, or of like Congress.
I thought it was... No, never mind.
I think it was like Capitol.
No, I was thinking of something else that I read or listened to on a podcast. It was like Theodore Roosevelt laying the ground for some kind of bridge in like Yellowstone or something like that. But yeah.
Okay. October 14th, 1066.
1066.
William of Normandy defeats King Harold in the Battle of Hastings, which is like the first major battle after William of Normandy like landed in England. Like that was like the first battle of his conquest of England.
Yeah, there's a book I want to read about this stuff. I forgot what it's called. I have it on my Amazon book list thing.
Okay.
But like this is like the period I want to get into because this is like I don't know dick about any of this stuff. But yeah,
it's true. It's kind of a blind spot for me. This and like in general the probably like 1200s to 1700s like royalty of like like England and Scotland and like the continent and stuff like that.
It's
like
a lot of family.
Yeah.
Effing.
It's like a huge blind spot for me in history. October 14th, 1644. William Penn is born, obviously very famous for founding the colony of Pennsylvania as the leader of the Quaker. Is it a denomination or like it's not its own religion, I don't think. I think it's just like a denomination of Christianity.
Like Mormons and like what's it called? Like Mormons, like a kind of like a similar thing, like that came in later.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
I wouldn't say it was as crazy as no Mormons, but like it came like way later to where like the guy started it.
Kind of,
in recent times.
Yeah. October 14th, 1806. Napoleon defeats the Prussian army in Jena, Germany, or what is now Jena, Germany, anyway. As like part of his conquest of Europe.
Yeah, I haven't got too deep. I've only gotten to the part to where he defeats the armies in northern Italy with Austria. I haven't got that far yet.
Okay. October 14th, 1890, Dwight Eisenhower is born. He's the 34th president. He ends up being the 34th president of the United States. He's also obviously very important United States general.
And a lieutenant.
And one of the
World War I.
One of the I think there's only been 2 or 3 5-star generals since Dwight Eisenhower. So like I didn't really actually look this up. It came up. I was watching Jeopardy with my parents, and this came up that so you only get to the rank of, there are no current 5-star generals because you only get to the rank of 5-star when you take over command of an allied army as well.
Oh.
So like what Eisenhower became a 5-star general because he was in charge of the entire allies. Like he held rank over British and like French and like stuff. Like he held rank over them.
That makes sense because they didn't know what they were doing anyways.
So like there was a few. It happened during Korea.
Yeah.
It happened once during Vietnam, and I think the last one was like in the 70s or 80s, and like there hasn't been a 5-star general since.
What about? Okay, so yeah. What about before that though?
Before that, yeah, there were 5-star generals.
Okay. Because like we didn't really have allies before like World War.
Well, there would have been allies in like World War One. Yeah.
I don't know who would have been the guy.
I don't know who the first one was, but anyway, I didn't realize that that's how it worked. I just assumed that it was just like the next rank in the U.S. military. But like there has to literally be like we won't have another one until if there ever really is another one, like major global conflict. Like there will have to be like basically another world war before there will ever be another 5-star general, probably. Because you have to like be given command, and even then it might not even happen. But like. You have to be given command over like not. It's like Eisenhower had all of the U.S. forces and the Allies. So like,
yeah, and then he was the last president to be born in the 1800s to serve as a president.
Okay.
Yeah, because Nixon was like in like the early, like 19 something.
Okay.
Yeah, and then because like it went straight to Kennedy, and then but it went backwards with like Johnson,
Lyndon B. Johnson, then Nixon. Then Ford.
I think Nixon and Kennedy are about the same age.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, because remember Nixon served as a vice VP.
Nixon and Kennedy can't be the same age because
I said around the same age. I know Nixon's
it's probably
older.
not even close. It's probably like 15 years. Because there was remember we had on here the televised debate between Kennedy and Nixon, who was vice president at the time.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing was that like Nixon like everyone saw him compared to JFK as like this really old man.
Cool, because he was sick too.
Yeah, okay. It was still, I think there's like a pretty good age difference between them.
Probably like no more than 10.
Look it up. October 14th, 1944, German Field Marshal Erwin Rommel dies. He actually ended up committing suicide. So basically he was implicated in a failed attempt to assassinate Hitler. And so Hitler sent like a couple henchmen over to his house, and he had the option of a public trial or suicide by poison, and he chose suicide and died. That was 84 years ago now. Oh, that was some really bad math, wasn't it? No, that's about right. October 14th, 1947, Chuck Yeager breaks the sound barrier in the Bell X-1 aircraft. First one to go faster than the speed of sound.
2 years.
2 years age difference? Lies.
Actually, I think Kennedy's younger. Or older.
Yeah, no way. There's literally no way.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy, born May 29th, 1917.
Okay.
Give me a sec. I don't know how to say his middle name, but Richard Nixon, January 9th. Oh, wait, actually, no. Never mind. So I thought it was 1918. My bad. It's 1913. Still only 4 years.
You're right. It is closer than I thought it was. You're right. Congratulations.
You're wrong this time, Jacob.
October 14th, 1962. The United States Air Force photographs Soviet-made missiles being installed in Cuba, kickstarting the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Cuba.
Where we were supposedly like this close to nuking them.
Bay of Pigs as well.
Yeah.
Fidel Castro is literally legit in the sense, like compared to like all those Central and South American, like whatever you want to call them, presidents or leaders or dictators, whatever. He was like the best one to, like, he was the hardest to kill or like to try to kill because that dude had a good system set up. Like good body doubles, good security, you know, like, hey, fool, tell me when the Americans are here. You know what I mean? Just kind of that kind of stuff.
Is that what he said?
Basically.
Is that how it went? Okay. Yeah. October 14th, 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. receives the Nobel Peace Prize for his work during the Civil Rights Movement.
Well deserved.
Yeah, for sure. October 15th, 1582, the Gregorian calendar is adopted. And they're actually the 10 days that precede this. So I actually think it goes back to October 3rd, but it could be October 4th. So like October 3rd or 4th through October 13th of the year 1582 does not exist. Because in order to reconcile the time difference, they had to cut a bunch of days.
Mm.
So like they just jump forward. So it goes so like the calendar. If you were to go back, it goes from like October 2nd, 1582 to October 14th, 1582.
Yeah, I heard because that's the current calendar year thing.
Yeah, it's a current
It's like
system,
the best one because of like the daylight savings time. Because like technically the days aren't technically the same. Like there's like you'll miss like 15 minutes like or something or like a minute or something like that each day, and that's why we go back. So it adds up to that. So it makes sense.
Well, that's why we have leap year.
Well, that too, yeah. That and then why we go to daylight savings time where we go back and forward and whatnot. So it's like when you look at the map, you're like, damn, dude, those guys are smart, man. Jeez, like I can barely count to 5, man. Jeez. Like these were like priests or whatever you want to call it, monks or whatever. Like, dude, bro, high five.
You did it. October 15th, 1783. I'm gonna totally butcher this name. Francois Pilatre de Rosière. I don't speak French. I totally just butchered that. But he completes the first manned flight in a hot air balloon. Or like the first manned flight that's at least recorded in general, but like he did it in a hot air balloon. And his first flight, I think if I remember correctly when I read this, was at only 83 feet. But just like a few days after that, he hit 6,500 feet.
Damn,
so
that dude's
like
crazy.
Way up there. So it's like more than a mile up in a hot air balloon.
I don't know if I would ever get into a hot air balloon, by the way.
Really?
Too sketchy.
I've never done it, but like you've never done the orange ball or whatever?
I was sketched out, dog.
Okay.
I was waiting for someone to shoot that ball thing and shoot it down.
Even it was a good run.
No, I mean it wouldn't deflate like that fast. We would probably get down.
Oh yeah,
fine.
Yeah,
but like
it's not gonna pop like.
If it did, I was like, oh great. Oh dude.
Going down.
Yeah, I remember like when it kind of opened and it was like a month after it opened or whatnot. My mom was like, "You want to go see this? We can go up in the air or whatnot." I was like, "I don't know, Mom. This sounds sketchy." The way she described it is like, "Yeah, it's a big air one because she works by there, obviously."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, "We go." I'm like, "We're getting in that thing?" Like, oh my god, dude. You have health, or you have what's it called? What's the insurance when you die? Like you have life insurance, right, Mom? Yeah. I was like, God.
Where is it? I lost my spot. October 15th, 1878, Thomas Edison founds the Edison Electric Light Company. Kind of self-explanatory there.
I like how everyone hates him. He's like this, like, or not everyone hates him, but a lot of people like, he didn't create all those things. He stole them from other people. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I guess, sure. Same with like Steve Jobs. He like made things better or whatnot. Like, that's what he did. Because like he had like a crew of guys that would like, invent stuff with him, and then he was like the head of like all the whole group. Like this is the way things worked.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then shut up.
October 16th, 1701, in a huge stroke of irony, Yale University is founded in Connecticut, I believe, and it was founded because people at Harvard thought that Harvard was getting too liberal, so they went off and they formed their own university. And now they're just liberal together.
Dude, if you go to Yale, you can land a sick job in government, dude.
I'm pretty sure if you go to Harvard, you can land a sick job in government as well.
Yeah, but Yale has like some really weird, deep connections with the CIA and whatnot. It's like it's real sketch, dude. I'm like,
October 16th, 1793, Marie Antoinette is killed by guillotine in the French Revolution.
GG.
And Louis the 16th or whatever, it was his wife.
Yeah, she got kind of screwed in that.
Definitely.
Because she's from Austria actually.
Okay.
And
like, what are these French people
doing? Which number? I
think it was 16th.
16th. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I mean, I read a book on like describing this, but like how she was like trying to get her brother because her brother was the king of Austria, I believe, and like how her and then her brother or her husband were like trying to get to the border so like the Austrian army could capture them and whatnot, and then the Austrian army would come in and clean shop. Yeah, but that didn't work out that way.
Didn't go so well. October 17th is our last day. 2 more points. October 17th, 1781 is when the British actually surrendered at Yorktown after the French like blockaded them in. And then Lord Cornwallis surrendered but didn't want to like go through the shame of surrendering to Washington, so he like sent his other dude to do it. It's like that famous painting or whatever. It's like not him. It's like his lieutenant.
Yeah, because he was too embarrassed.
Yeah.
I think what's it called? After this, he got sent to like India.
Yeah, that was actually one of our history
Yeah,
things. I think.
yeah, and
not too
then
long ago.
I wish they would do like how they do the Pacific and Band of Brothers. I want them
Mhm.
to do like one through like the Revolutionary War like this. I think it would be interesting, even though like I mean, such a long time ago, obviously, but there's enough stuff in records to come up with something like that. I mean, the Pacific is based off of two of the guys that they wrote books after. And I was like, I'm pretty sure someone wrote a book that would be
Probably.
interesting enough to that to be similar to this. It's not that like I want to see that, like, but it'd just be interesting to see like the soul. I want to hear the soldier stories. I don't care about George Washington's story as much because I've heard it so much. It's on like kind of on replay and like the bigger names and or bigger figures in that time. But like it'd be interesting to hear stories, soldiers, and even like the Civil War. Maybe do one in Korea or something like that. I don't know. Just I would like if HBO would do some kind of series on like that. Those kind of like stories, I guess.
Our last point for the day. October 17th, 1933, Albert Einstein leaves Germany for the United States, fleeing the rising anti-Semitism that was going on there in Germany at the time, and like the rise of Nazi Germany. So yeah, so he left. He departed on a boat, I think, for the U.S.
Yeah, he's I think it was 16. He denounced his German citizenship. He did it twice. Got it back to go, I believe, to go to college. I have to double check that. It was in the book I was reading, and like then he denounced it again. I think right after Hitler came into power, or something like that, or maybe before, and then that's when he's trying to leave. But like it's kind of his story is kind of interesting too. But yeah, I thought that was like kind of weird because I always said like Einstein and how he got out. Oh, a lot of those people got out too.
Yeah,
because a lot of the physics community or whatever you want to call them, that was all. Most of those guys were basically Jewish, and there was like I say a lady in there. I forgot her name already, but how she got out too. It was interesting because she like a lot of them too had Jewish bloodlines, but like they didn't practice the religion, and some of them are even like actually like Catholics or Christians, which is just kind of like what. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's it for this week in history.
That's been it, yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the history part. Let us know if we missed anything. Let us know any cool and interesting facts in the comments down below about the stuff that we just read. Know that I was right about Richard Nixon not being that much older than John F. Kennedy. Let the NLB put that in the record books, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Congratulations.